What's going on, you guys? Pet Platypus here, and it is time to talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable, episode 25. This was actually a really solid episode of JoJo. It wasn't as good as the last arc, obviously, because Sheer Heart Attack's one of the best in Part 4, but probably the best in JoJo so far, but or one of the best in JoJo so far, I should say. But this was actually a really good follow-up, because we got interesting background on Kira, not much, but we learned about the toenail collection, and it kind of just shows more of his crazy side, and how he never wanted to stand out even when he was young, which is very interesting. We also get introduced to his father, who is a ghost, and he tries to kill Jotaro and Josuke. So it's sort of a Jotaro-Josuke stand user episode, which we haven't had in a while since the rat, I believe. Unless you want to count. Nah, Sheer Heart Attack is a Jotaro Koichi, but yeah, I mean, Josuke does show up at the end, but I don't really count that. So yeah, we haven't had them group up in a while. I mean, Okuyasu and Koichi are there, but they're trapped outside the picture frame, which is what I want to mention, because I really like the stand ability here, where take a picture and whatever's in the picture, that is the boundary. You can't leave it, and it's really cool. You know, Koichi and Okuyasu can't get in there. Jotaro and Josuke can't leave. And I think it's really, really cool, really, really creative, like I said, and they don't beat this guy, which is really interesting, because most of the stand user fights do end with, you know, they get the auras, or they get the Doras, or something happens to them. But in this case, he actually gets away, and it's not a two-parter. He just gets away with the arrow, which is another thing. We find out that there's another bow and arrow, and the Yoshikage Kira had it in his house. So, still need information on the bow and arrow. Jojo has, you know, more parts to come, so I have no idea if they're going to address it in Part 4, if they're going to carry it over to Part 5 or 6 or whatever, but just have to wait and see. But yeah, really creative stand fight, and as far as the technical aspects of the episode go, there really isn't much to say. The animation and art are fairly good, fairly consistent. Nothing mind-blowing, but pretty solid all around. Nothing really wrong with them from what I saw. The pacing of this episode was actually pretty quick, but it worked, I think. And music, of course, was great. It was great hearing Jotaro's music again. Though I will say Jotaro is getting a lot of screen time. And I would say he's stealing the spotlight a bit from Josuke, but at the same time, Josuke's the main character. He has a ton of arcs to himself. Jotaro has gotten almost no focus in Part 4 outside of a few fights, so I think it makes sense that he would take a little bit of spotlight, as he is still a major character. I mean, look how much screen time Koichi has gotten, for God's sake. So, yeah, there that is. But yeah, story progression, pretty interesting, because we have a dude who wants to make more stand users. He has an arrow. He has a means to do it. He's off riding the bird in his picture, which is just, because Araki wills it, it's just so fucking insane. But yeah, that's the episode. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but I don't think so. I mean, I know there's something else to talk about. I'm talking about the main plot. As far as the side plot goes, we have Yoshikage Kira's new face, which was 2 parts. Weirdly, it was split in the manga. This is only Part 1, I believe. It was split. It was like Yoshikage's Kira's new face Part 1, and then it was Jonken Boy, which is the next arc. You probably saw the episode preview, or they don't really have a preview, but you know what I mean. And then it was Yoshikage Kira's new face Part 2. Here they did Part 1, and they kind of did it early, but not really, because it still ends before Jonken Boy, but they did some of it at the beginning. I like how they did it. They paced it really well. They mixed it in very nicely. And as far as this story goes, I have no idea what's going to happen. I believe I've read the Part 2 to this, but it's not like a conclusive Part 2 or anything, so yeah, I don't know if he's going to kill the family or what's going to happen, but all I know is the wife is digging him now because she thinks her husband is less boring. That's interesting, I guess. See where it goes. Like I said, the only thing I really pulled from this was he has a new face, he looks cool, and his wife's hot. That's really all I pulled from this this part of it. Oh, and the boy, the kid is, I don't know yet. You know, we don't see his face, and he seems to be, like, depressed or something. I don't know. So, yeah, that'll probably go somewhere, I'm assuming. I mean, Araki forgets stuff, but I don't think that's gonna fucking, I don't think he's gonna drop this. This has to do with the main villain, so yeah, that's pretty much the episode, though. And next week, I don't know, I forget that arc almost completely, other than I think the kid was annoying, but, you know, the Jonken Boy. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch that again. And after that, there is one more arc, and then it'll all be fresh. So hopefully the anime doesn't start skipping shit, because, I don't know, people have said, oh, it's going to be 39 episodes, but I've seen the chapter count for Part 4, and I've seen how they're pacing this. I don't know if you can wrap up like another 60 chapters in what? Like, what do we have? We're on 25. If they ended on 39, that'll be, what, 14 more episodes? 60 chapters? Maybe. It depends on how many. I don't know what the count is on these next few story arcs, so I don't know if the next few story arcs are going to be short or long or what. So we'll just have to wait and see how they handle it. But yeah, I just hope they don't skip any arcs, which I don't think they will. They're pretty damn faithful when it comes to JoJo. They skipped little things in parts 1 and 2, but nothing important, nothing major. So they're pretty damn faithful with JoJo. I think they're going to adapt all the arcs, but we'll just have to wait and see, and it'll definitely be cool to see fresh material in a couple of weeks. But anyways, for this episode, I'm going to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was a very good to great episode of JoJo. I liked the background information on Kira. I thought the stand user fight was really creative. I liked that it didn't have a conclusive ending to it, which is rare for the series. And overall, it was just a really solid episode. So with all that being said, what did you guys think of this episode of JoJo? You can go ahead and tell me in the comments section below. You can also follow me on Instagram or add me on PSN. I'm Pat Platypus on both. You can also give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. Both those would help me out a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you like what you've seen here. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.